we're seeing you here in The Lost Girls. Was there something about this tale or about Clayton himself or his relationship with Wendy that really drew you to this film?
When I was sent the film, before I read it, I said to my agent, oh God, not another film about Peter Pan. And I was delighted to find that it was completely original and fresh and interesting. I think most importantly, it's a tale that is told from a female perspective this time around. And I found that whole sort of, I suppose, the sort of themes of growing up and staying young, and the sort of themes of parenting and how to be a good parent, how much to hold on to your children, how much to let them go. I found that particularly pertinent for me as a father, I suppose. Plus we shot it right at the beginning of the pandemic when the world was, sort of fallen apart. So it was just a delight to actually meet other human beings, not on a screen, and actually get back to work. So that was another reason why it was a delight.
Well, we meet Clayton when Wendy is young. Is she homeschooled because he's sort of trying to watch over her because her mother has gone, or is it just, easier for her because you say that, that she's a little too smart for her own good?
No, I think it's more that he just doesn't want to lose anyone else. I think it's a sort of selfish. Maybe selfish is not the right word, but he's terrified of being on his own. I think he's, he takes it too far. I mean, he's a good father in many respects, but he can't. He's too controlling. As are most of the male characters in the story. I don't know whether it's deliberate, but it feels like there's a sort of feeling that the female characters are existing in a world that doesn't need men. So I suppose it's a kind of feminist retelling. Bless you. You okay?
Yes, thank you.
You got hay fever or cold?
Just a little bit of allergies.
All right.
I mean, that's a very good observation here. I mean, but at the same time, I feel like Wendy is almost a bit manic, so he feels like he's kind of watching over her mental health as well.
I suppose, yeah, I was thinking about this the other, when I watched it, because I'd only watched it recently. I know we talk a lot about mental health these days and how to deal with mental health, and it seems that he has no kind of vocabulary for that. And I suppose one of the ways of reading the film is reading the sort of story of Peter Pan is I'm sure there's a kind of not philosophical, but a psychological way of understanding it, that we're all kind of two characters inside of us. We're all kind of, we all have a Captain Hook. We all have a shadow. We have an interior and an exterior. And even though he's sort of a bright man and she's a very bright girl, emotionally he seems not so intelligent. Would that be fair? I don't know.
Well, I find it interesting too that he's sort of trusting of Adam to take care of her as well, for all of the sheltering that he's done of Wendy all of her life, that he seems to trust Adam with her well-being and embraces their relationship.
Well, I think in one sense he knows he has to at some stage let her go, as painful as that may be. So I think it's a slightly more nuanced kind of thing, isn't it? I mean, he sort of doesn't. I'm not quite sure whether he does trust him. Yeah, he's sort of lost in a way. Lost in, I suppose, this feeling of he doesn't really know what happened to his wife and why he's been left. And that question sort of hangs over him.
Mm.
Yeah, an interesting position to be in.
Well, one of my favorite moments obviously has to be the wedding scene because everyone's dressed so beautifully. And it's sort of a culmination of both of Wendy's worlds, you giving her away. What were some of your favorite scenes, or maybe at least one of your favorite scenes to film from the beautiful movie The Lost Girls?
I loved all the scenes with the kids. I think the kids were really great. You know, it's really hard to find good young actors who are natural rather than over rehearsed and over schooled. And I think they did a great job of finding some really interesting, and also the girl who played the teenage.
She was good.
Very good, very, very good indeed. Very natural. So and it is sort of as a sort of slightly well, I consider myself quite young anyway, but as a slightly older actor, it's always nice to work with younger. You know, one of the joys of an actor is working with all sorts of different. You know, it's like Vanessa Redgrave, you know, who's in her 80s, and then on the other end, working with a 9-year-old, rather wonderful, keeps you fresh.
What do you hope then viewers take away from watching The Lost Girls?
I suppose perhaps a new perspective on the story, and provoking maybe some discussion about identity, parenting, the sort of dynamic between mother-daughter, those kind of things, I think, and a sort of how much we're expecting people to grow up, young people to grow up very, very quickly in this world we live in. And actually, it's really important to allow children to be children. And even when you're 80, I think it's healthy to be able to remember when you were 8. Seems a good rule for a healthy mental state.
Well, I'd be remiss if I didn't mention the incredible work you've done on the stage. It's wonderful to see you back in theater with everything up and running again.
Yes.
Do you have any dream roles you'd like to take on at this point?
I'd like to have another go at Sunday in the Park with George. Recently I did a Sondheim gala 2 or 3 weeks ago. And it was lovely to just dip my toe into the world of Sondheim once more. So I'd love to do that. There's a couple of other musicals that I'd like to do. I'm about to start South Pacific again here in the West End. But I also want to do a nice big TV job. Something, written by Aaron Sorkin with a lot of words. That's what I'd like to do.
Very interesting. Yes. I think that would be a great vehicle for you.
Yeah.